Come on. Come on. Are you serious? I tell you, this streaming thing is not working out for me. I, for the life of me, cannot get this freaking stuff to work together. Oh my god. And smash. Smash. Okay, see, it's, man, the way this thing works. Okay, no. The 2023 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 Corvette. I'll change all the rest of the stuff as I get done here. All that stuff, save. Alright, I think I finally got this figured out where I can actually record the video and make something nice here. So, it says it's streaming, so that's what it's going to be. So this is it. I'm streaming. Here we are. So the first thing, the first stream video here is about the new 2023 Corvette Z06. I mean, they just revealed it today, and honestly, this is probably the most exciting vehicle that's come, especially for the domestic market. One of the most exciting vehicles that's come out. I'm clipping the mic here. Turn that down just a smidge. What about that? Is that good? Yeah, sorry, I'm still learning all this stream stuff. I can turn wrenches, but good lord. But yeah, it's one of the most exciting domestic American cars that's come out for a while. Like, honestly, as cool as the GT 500 was, or is, and it is, what's the word? Competitive, and how well the car performs, it just, other than the dual clutch transmission, the rest of the car was like typical Ford. It was cookie cutter. It wasn't all just parts bin stuff. They did have to develop, but a lot of this stuff they already had. They had the 5.2 as an Illuminator engine for a while now, so they just had parts they knew that they could develop on, because they've been working on that stuff for a long time. I mean, the most impressive thing about the new Corvette, I think, is from the engineering standpoint, the fact that, I mean, it's completely new. There is nothing out there that Chevy has ever done, especially in recent time, that comes close to the amount of precision. I know that's a word they use a lot, but it's really like that precision kind of engineering that they put into the new Z06, and it's crazy, and it shows. I mean, the car speaks for itself. I think as long as, because it is a whole new powertrain that GM's really never had good luck in making. But the recent engines coming out that they've been making for the Cadillacs and stuff, they seem to be pretty solid. So if it shows to be as solid as those, even flat plane crank engines in general seem to have less reliability than a normal cross plane crank engine. Even GT350 suffers a lot from engine failure, although a lot of that was due to Ford's just ignorant decisions for engineering certain pieces. We all know that by now, but still, it's just a matter of the fact. That's the reason why not many manufacturers choose flat plane crank engines, the reliability isn't as good as a cross plane. So as long as the engine holds up and doesn't give any owners any big problems, then this is going to be a really good car. I think it is going to be great like for the type of money you get. Like, you're in that sub $100,000, and I'm sure you probably get it as high, I mean, not including dealer markups, you could probably get it as high as probably 120. I heard, I don't know, I couldn't find it anywhere, but someone said that it was going to be starting at 97,000. I don't know if that's true. I didn't see that anymore. I mean, I can try to look here and see if anyone has posted anything, is there any information. Let's see. Car and driver repairs, what we know so far. Okay, so I don't think there's any concrete information. A lot of this was just speculation articles. Let's see, we'll probably see, like right here, Road and Track, it will probably be priced around $85,000. Someone said starting at $97,000, which I would feel like would be a little bit more accurate, considering the type of car. But yeah, I mean, still, I think that is awesome that they would even have the balls to build something like this. The most impressive thing about the whole reveal here was how much they indulged on the engineering of the car. That to me spoke a lot, because it means that they were very, like, the whole team there at Chevy and Corvette were very just proud of their product. You know what I'm saying? Generally, they all are going to say that to help hype it up, but a lot of the emphasis on the reveal video was how they engineered the car. I mean, there was a whole section, well, like, what, 6, 7, I don't even know, it was like almost 10 minutes long maybe, of just the engine, how they developed the powertrain, why they chose the flat plane crank, what they had to do to achieve that kind of power and that kind of free revving characteristics and everything, and the exhaust. It was just awesome how they just indulged in all of that information that they developed or had from developing the car. I just thought that was awesome, especially when you're promoting a product like Corvette, which appeals to enthusiasts mostly, and you have a vehicle that is competing against $100,000+ cars. Yeah, I'm glad that they indulged on all of the engineering details and the specs and stuff, because I think that was what made the whole presentation of the new Z06 really special. I remember, like, the last really interesting presentation for a high performance car was the Dodge Demon. And they went into some of the things they did, the party tricks with using air conditioning system to help cool intake temps. It's really cool engineering. But they were more or less focused on what the car was able to do. They had a little strip that they did, and they wanted to show off the fact that it could pull a wheelie and all that stuff, all like the party tricks and whatnot that the car had. But they really didn't seem to, it was like a live presentation. They didn't really indulge on engineering of it or any of that stuff. And I just now noticed that it is putting my video in people and blogs, which is definitely not the correct place this needs to go. There we go, autos and vehicles. Maybe it'll pop up now. But I thought that was very strange that they just be like, yeah, we did this to make the intake temps cool, we did this and programmed the bang to ride electronic suspension so it pops a wheelie, and that was it. They didn't really get into like how serious they were about it. The Corvette, however, they just sat down and talked how much time they spent crafting certain pieces to just make the experience awesome. I think one of the most impressive parts of all of that was when they were talking about the exhaust. Of course, they designed the exhaust to have a very unique, high-pitched, exotic sound. And they said that they noticed that in the cabin of the car, you couldn't really hear the exhaust well, and they wanted the driver to have that experience of hearing the exhaust. Obviously, they put that much time in making the exhaust sound good on such a, you know, masterpiece of an engine as far as Chevrolet's concerned. Then yeah, they would want their driver of the vehicle to hear it. And they actually used basically just simple acoustics they designed the I know if you haven't seen it then you'll know, but I'm just saying they designed the exhaust tips to able to reflect sound back forward towards the car. And I thought that was awesome, the fact that they would take that extra time to just develop exhaust tips that do that, just so that the driver can have the best experience possible when driving that car. It's just engineering details like that. It may seem silly, but it's stuff like that you don't normally see on an everyday car. And as far as I'm concerned, a Corvette is an everyday car. It's not like a limited run of, Aston Martins or whatever. It is a mass-produced American sports car. And to have that kind of just engineering put into the car is really, I think it's really taken Corvette and put it in the level, like in terms of just how they engineered it, of a lot of its competition. I don't think there is really one American car now, as long as the Z06 ends up being what they're saying it's going to be, is going to be on par of the level of engineering and quality and performance, all three, then it's probably European counterparts. That's stuff you would expect from brands like BMW and Porsche, and I wouldn't say Mercedes so much, but definitely like BMW, Porsche, Audi. Those brands you would definitely expect that kind of engineering and that detail. And what is my cat doing? You're not helping me out too much, right? And I just think that's crazy coming from an American company. It really just has me in awe, because I'm not really a Chevy guy. I've grown up with Fords. I like all cars, but I grew up with Fords. I've had 6 Ford cars, and I've always been very partial to Fords. And not to say I ever hated Chevy, but it was never a brand I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go. I like certain products. Like I did, I do like Camaro to an extent. I do, and everyone loves a Corvette. But this, when the C8 came out, I liked it, but I feel like it was just missing something. I kept saying, just wait until the Z06, because we knew it was going to have what it has. Like, just wait till the Z06, just wait until everything comes out and see how that is, and see if that fixes my issues, at least, with how I perceive the C8 Corvette. And I think it did. I think it answered everything the C8 was missing, in my opinion. Because the C8 looked apart from every Corvette before it. It looks like they say the C8's or the Corvette's a poor man's Ferrari. It is literally now the poor man's Ferrari. It is a car that a normal working man probably could afford if they really wanted to. And it gives you that Ferrari-like driving experience without the Ferrari-like maintenance, the Ferrari-like price tag. I mean, honestly, to get a Ferrari at that price point, you're going to have to go back to a 20 or more old Ferrari. That's going to be a nightmare to keep maintained. Not everyone has that kind of money. You get a brand new 2023 Corvette that's like a Ferrari. Even if you're at $110,000, that's still that's cheaper than any new Ferrari you're ever going to buy. And it gives you that same driving experience as a Ferrari. It's literally now the poor man's Ferrari. Exactly. They copied Ferraris, they copied like a Ferrari. Good or bad, it's good for the people who will be able to buy them, because most people don't want to buy a Ferrari. And that's the thing about this new C8. As much as it answers a lot of, the Z06 answers a lot of what I had with the just the normal C8, Stingray, when it came out. Now it has that exotic bit to it, and I think it will do well. The problem is, because it's going to be competing with those high-end cars, I don't think it's really going to attract Corvette buyers. I think it's going to attract buyers of those other cars, honestly. Or people who would consider those other cars, and maybe, this is a little bit more of an affordable option. I think because a lot of Corvette owners, they're probably very partial. They're probably very loyal to the front engine, rear-wheel drive, big snarling V8 setup like Corvette's had since day one. This is definitely a big step for Corvette, and I really don't know why they called it a Corvette. They should have kept the C7, really should have, and then offered this as a car above the C7, like a halo car, kind of like how the Ford GT is. I think it would have been just as good, because I think there's a lot of people who would still prefer a C7. I personally love, and probably even still to this day, even with the new Z06, I think I still prefer the C7 Z06. It just looks so much nicer. It's a different driving experience. Oh, and it gets a manual transmission, so that's something you just unfortunately don't get. But whatever, that is what it is. I just think in general, though, the C8 Z06 is something it's something special, and I think Chevrolet knows that. They know they got something here. It was ballsy for them to do it, but they made the change, but made the change for a better reason. It's not like how Ford was saying, hey, let's take a Mustang and make an EV out of it. No one asked for that. I mean, probably most Corvette owners didn't ask for that, what they get. But I would much rather have the C8 as an option for the next gen Corvette than something that was supposed to be an EV crossover. I mean, how pissed would everyone be if the C8 Corvette was an EV crossover, or there was another Corvette you could buy that was an EV crossover? Yeah, they would be very angry. No, yeah, as much as the mid-engine Corvette is different, at least it's a very capable, high-performance machine that has engineering of different world-class vehicles for a price point that that's unattainable for a lot of people. It's very close to the price of so many good cars. Like when you get to the 100,000 mark, you got a whole plethora of just amazing high-performance cars you can get new. And if you go used, then you just have a broad horizon of potential cars. And then for a new offering, especially if you are into just American cars or whatever the case is, I think the C8 is really just going to be something special for everyone until the next thing comes along. Probably will be an EV replacement. Unfortunately, is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I really do. And something else I want to talk about real quick is back into the reveal video of the Z06. Something I thought that was really cool was the fact that they emphasize so much on the sound of the car, almost all the way through the whole video, 20 some minutes. Probably a solid 20 of those minutes had some type of video in it that had the sound of the car, and I thought that was awesome. I get that was the real big thing about the Z06 is the sound. It sounds like anything I've ever heard, especially out of a Chevy. And honestly, at Redline, it sounds like an F1 car. It's awesome. I'm really excited. I know Chevy put a lot of time into the exhaust, but personally, I think it needs to be just a little bit more aggressive. It just needs to have a little bit more bite. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that comes off, but I think it just needs a little bit more bite. Now, when you get some of them crazy companies out there that probably develop them high-end exhaust for Lamborghinis and Ferraris and such, I'm sure they're going to be in development with this car. You're probably looking at a $3,000-$4,000 exhaust, but it needs a little bit of something. I don't know if going to a titanium setup would give it that tone, that bite. You know what I'm saying? Just that little bit of an edge on the tone of the exhaust. Otherwise, I think it's a great sound for factory exhaust. I think they done a great job. In some of the teaser videos or spy videos, I don't know if it was the final exhaust that they actually have on the reveal car. I think it was something different. They were still tweaking it. It didn't sound that great to me, or at least on those videos. But when they recorded the reveal video, of course they were using high-end audio equipment to record it. It just sounded so much better. The tone sounded better, not just the quality of the recording, but the whole tone, the way the car sounded was better. So I think there was some last minute changes in those spy videos versus what the finished product was. So yeah, so I think that's awesome. I really think the new Corvette is something special. I think it's going to be real big here once it actually hits people's driveways. I can't even see dealerships anymore because that don't even happen. Cars don't hit the dealerships anymore. That's just unfortunately. But yeah, I'm personally excited. I'm personally excited to see the Z06. See it on the road and see it driving around, hear it in person. The regular C8, it's okay. The Z06, I think this is really going to take and elevate the Corvette to just a whole different category of cars. You know, like it's kind of funny. It's kind of comical. You go to a Cars and Coffee, you'll see people parking their C8s next to the freaking Ferraris and Lamborghinis and McLarens and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, it looks apart. Like, it looks like it belongs with those cars, but it's not really in that same class of car. You know, it just looks like it belongs there. It's like a kit car, right? But I think once you get the Z06 in those cars and you start up that Z06 and you rev it next to that McLaren, you rev it next to that Ferrari, and it's like, okay, well, it looks like those, it sounds like those. My camera shut off. You know, it's kind of crazy that see if that comes back on. Oh goodness, I swear technology is great when it works. Yeah, this live stream thing has not worked out for me. But yeah, I think once people start pulling up with the Z06s next to those other high-end cars, it's going to be something special. It really is. Come on, camera, work for me. Alright, there's something. There's a little bit of video. God, I see I have one viewer and I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry. I'm learning. Come on, why do I have no video? Man, this really sucks. But yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the end of the stream here anyway, which is probably good. Because I can't... What is going on? Alright, I have no clue what happened to the camera here. I guess I'm going to have to take some time and... Oh, hey, look, I have a picture now. But why is this so dim? I don't know, it's like the shutter's not opening right or something. Okay, I really don't know what's happened there. So I guess I get my use of my camera back. Hey, there we go. Oh god, way too much brightness. Beautiful. Only at the last bit of the chapter here. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. So, rough live stream here. I do apologize. This is really difficult. Nothing ever works right. You have a lot of different separate devices that you kind of have to have all synced up to each other, at least for my setup. You know, I'm trying to go for a more professional setup. I could have just did something basic, but I already had a lot of pre-existing equipment, so I thought, you know, let me just try to do something special. So anyway, yeah. Hope you liked my thoughts and opinions here on the new Corvette Z06. Once the video kind of settles there, feel free to comment on it and join the conversation. There's going to be like 1,000 videos by tomorrow on the Z06. And cool. Glad everyone's excited for something for once. You know, this is a pretty exciting car, especially for us Americans. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with everyone know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for the next true car enthusiast video.